up one day and I was heading to my grandma's house because it was her birthday. So when I showed up, I knocked on the door and she answered. And she was like, "Shh, the Academy Awards on." So I was like, "Okay, shh, be quiet." She's like, "Your grandfather was watching them." So I was like, "Okay." And when I walked in, she had like a little bowl of Jolly Ranchers. She was like, "Oh, Grandma's doing what you do. They have this candy."
Veda.
What?
Veda.
You can't use my name.
You can use it.
Okay, and she's like, "Veda, have some, sweetie." And I was like, "Okay, Grandma." So I took them, but I noticed she was out of the green ones. The green one's my favorite, so I was like, "No, thanks, Grandma." She was like, so then she was like, "Let's go bungee jumping." I was like, "I'm scared of the bungee cord breaking."
Jedi.
And she was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." So I walked in, and there's my grandpa and his dog Jedi watching the Academy Awards, and I was like, and it was kind of boring, you know. Oh, Grammy, I meant. Wait, did I say Grammy before? Yeah, I said Grammy before. So he's watching the Grammy Awards, and I was like, "This is kind of."
I think
That's it. And this is kind of boring, the Grammy Awards. So.
Crab.
So I walked in. My grandmother was making like crab and
knee pad.
And I was like, "I don't eat crab," and she was like, and so I remembered I had to go buy some new knee pads. So I was like, "Wait, Grandma, please go." So I started driving to the mall, and
Victoria's Secret.
And I was thinking to go to Dick's Sporting Goods, but then I saw Victoria's Secret was having the semi-annual sale, so I had to go in. So I went into Victoria's Secret, and the woman at front was so rude. So I was like, "Why should I even say this?" So and then I saw the worker in the back eating peanut butter on the job. And I was like, "That's wrong, because you might get it on the clothes, you know." So I waited just.
Vitamin water. Vitamin water.
So I left and I went to Dick's Sporting Goods to get my knee pads, and they had like this huge roll of vitamin water, and they had like in 6 packs, and they had all the flavors except my favorite, which was pomegranate. And I was like, okay, but I got some anyway, and I went to the knee pads. They didn't have any in my size. They didn't have any knee pads in my size.
Helmet.
And he was like, and he was like, "No, we don't have knee pads in a small, but we do have a helmet in a small." And I was like, "Well, I don't really need a helmet. I'm kind of good on that." And he was like, "Your nails are screwed up. You need some nail polish." And I was like, "No, that's weird. This is Dick's Sporting Goods."
Muffin.
So I was like, yeah, so I walked out of there, you know, and they were giving free samples out of muffins. So. It was banana muffins, the banana bread muffins, so I took one. And I usually don't like banana muffins, so I was like, "Do you have like the ones with gummy bears in them?" And they're like, "No, I never even heard of that before."
Raisins.
They're like, "But we do have ones with raisins in them," and I didn't like raisins. I was kind of allergic to raisins, so I was like, "Never."
Kind of allergic.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I ate the banana ones, and I was like, and the muffin was kind of cute. It had a little rainbow with a unicorn top on it, and I was like, "That's pretty cute," but it wasn't edible, so they're like, "Don't choke on it." So okay, whatever. So I went back to my grandma's house because I felt bad just popping in, you know. So I went back to my grandma's house, and the Grammy Awards are still on. I was like, "No, the Grammy Awards are still on."
I can't think of anything. This is my goal. Go then. Okay, keep going.
Okay, and the Grammy Awards were on still, and my grandpa was still watching. He was sleeping. He wasn't even watching it. So I was like,
"Movie."
So I was like, "Grandma, can I watch a movie?" And he was like, "No, you can't turn off the Grammy Awards." Grandpa was watching it, and she was like, "Oh, honey, your shoelaces untied." I was like, "Well, I'm taking my shoes off anyway," and she was like, "No, leave them on. You need to leave them on in the house." And I was like, "That's weird, because they usually tell them to take them off." So I was like, there was this room, and it had like goldfish in it, and I thought there was a TV in there. I thought there was a TV in there, so I stepped on a paperclip on the way to my grandma, and she's like, "Oh, do you need a Band-Aid?" And I was like, "No, it's just a paperclip. Can I use the TV?" And then I'm gonna end it soon.
China.
And I was like, "Can I use the TV in there?" And she was like, no, but you need to do something else. Like, I have a tie-dye kit." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do the tie-dye, whatever, because, you know." So I started doing the tie-dye, and I got stained all of my shirt. So it was very embarrassing. I had to walk home like that, drive home like that. And then I got home.
Wheelchair.
I went home and I saw my brother in a wheelchair. And I was like, how did that happen, bro? And he said he stepped on a paperclip. And I was like, that is so weird.
That's stupid. I didn't know wheelchair.
But it was past my bedtime, so I went to bed.
Okay, I just shut it off. My friend and I went on a trip to Kentucky, and it's out of the state.
Leopard print.
And she's obsessed with leopard print, so she looks like she's like 12 years old, and she's really like 17. It's very embarrassing. So I was driving her.
Wallpaper.
And she's like, oh, I want to stop against the wallpaper for my room. And I was like, we have to get to Kentucky to see the game.
Robot.
And she was like, oh, but I saw some cute print of robots. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought, oh my gosh, she's such a 12-year-old. She wants robots on her wall. And I can't let her buy this wallpaper. And I was like, I don't know where there's a place we can get that on our way. And I was like, maybe if we see it, but we'll see. So I turned on the radio to change the subject. And we're listening to talk radio. And
Thai.
And then there was like this radio contest to win a bunch of ties because it's like back to work and stuff. And she's like, oh,
Halloween.
And she's like, oh, I could really use a tie for my Halloween costume. And I was like, this is for people that work though.
Supernatural.
Use the and she was like, oh, but I'm going as a supernatural character. I was like, oh, which one of them wears ties? And she was like, I don't think you care because you don't wear to watch it. I was like, yeah, I probably won't. So we kept driving and
Football.
And I was like, oh, we're gonna miss the football game. Hope we get there.
Football
already? That's true. You should give me another minute.
Okay, 3 minutes.
Okay. And I was like, we're gonna miss the football game. Yeah, we're gonna miss the football game.
She didn't say anything.
Yeah. So.
Referee.
Angry Birds.
What?
Referee.
No, like, I hope the referees don't make any bad calls like the last game. She's like, I know, there shouldn't even be referees. And I was like, yeah, but then it'd be a dirty game and stuff. And she's like, don't defend them. I was like, well,
Angry
my
Birds.
dad's a referee.
Angry Birds.
And she took out her phone to play Angry Birds, so I was very bored. And she was very into her game. And I was like, oh, she's playing Angry Birds. She's such like a 12-year-old. Yeah, that's like, why am I friends with this girl?
Tom Hanks.
And then I brought up I talked about the new Tom Hanks movie coming out, and she was what?
30-second warning.
What?
Matt Smith.
Who's that?
Actor.
What?
It's an actor.
Oh, you have 20
Okay,
seconds.
well she's obsessed with she will. I don't know, mess with this. Come on.
It's an actor.
Open Winifred.
Okay, and then she watched Oprah. She was watching Oprah on her phone. She fell asleep, and then we finally got to the game, and I got a hotel, and we went to bed.
Yeah.
I don't know, Miss.
It's an actor.
Well, I don't know who he is.
I show him on YouTube.
No, say no. Don't.
Say no.
Okay.
Is there any other video you want to do?
Oh yeah, we should
Let's
do it.
do recording.
Should we do it? A different video?
Yeah.
Okay, do a different video.
Bye. Bye. Peace on earth. Juice.
You know what we do to hippies around here? We kick them out.
You're a hippie too.
I'm a hippie. I don't have to look like a hippie to be a hippie like these.
Hey, I just went ahead about it. I'm actually trying hard. She's like saying, peace out, yo, dude,
Get out of
yo.
here.
Well, peace on her. She's
Head
a
wraps.
try-hard. She's a poser. That's what she is. She's a poser. We call these posers. Look, this isn't even a real head wrap. That's a bracelet. It looks like a bracelet. Head wrap. I'm gonna hashtag expose. Ashley copied my shirt and my headband.
I put on the shirt.
No, you did. No, and I put on the headband. She put on the headband. She was like, look, I'm Veda. She's a poser. She's a poser.
She also steals photos from Google.
Yep.
I can't touch them.
And she puts them on Google, claims them as her own.
I tag Google and then they'll say.